guys, my name is Sam and this is my video entry for the 2019 Australia and New Zealand NYX Face Awards. So for this look I kind of decided to do a Egyptian inspired goddess whose obsession with gold is slowly melting her away. But to save the long intros, without further ado, let's just jump straight into it. So for the SFX gelatin I used a gold face paint. I also mixed 1 part glycerol, which you can get from most pharmacies, with 1 part gelatin powder, which you can get from most supermarkets, and 1.5 parts water in this plastic microwavable container using these little wooden sticks. So for the horns part of this tutorial you will need some tin foil or aluminum foil. Did get 10 meters, but 5 meters ended up being enough. A headband to stick the horns to, some insulation tape to wrap around the outside of the tinfoil horns, some scissors, and some craft wire to go up the middle of the horns just to help stabilize them. So, step 1 of this horn tutorial is going to be measuring and cutting 2 pieces of craft wire to the length you want your horns. You're then going to take your tinfoil and start breaking it off into pieces, folding and wrapping them around the wire over and over again until you have the shape, size and thickness you want for your horns. Keep setting them against your headband for size reference. I thought I was done and then held them to my head and realised they needed to be bigger about 3 times. It's tedious, I know, but it's worth it. Then do all that all over again for the other horn. Now you want to take your insulation tape and tape right around the horns so that you can't see the tinfoil and your horns become nice and smooth. I then decided to use eyeliner of all things to hold open my headband so I could more realistically see where these horns were going to sit, and then I taped them down using a lot of tape. Honestly, at this point you just want to keep adding more and more tin foil and insulation tape until you are happy with your horns. So I switched to a gold enamel paint as opposed to the gold face paint I had in the initial video. The face paint wasn't as thick as I thought, and this enamel really threw off a realistic gold shine. I gave the paint a really good mix with a disposable wooden stick and proceeded to paint the horns. I had a heater going in my room so the enamel was drying fast enough for me to start another layer straight away. So here I am looking super awkward trying to put on this swimmer's cap to protect my head and hair from the SFX gelatin. I haven't done this since I was about 6, so we're just going to skip through this real quick. This is where we mix 1 part gelatin, 1 part glycerol and 1.5 parts water in a microwavable bowl for 30-second intervals until it's a nice smooth liquid. Please wait until it has cooled down to put it anywhere near your skin. Do a patch test on the inside of your wrist just to be sure. This is messy. I laid down a tarp on our carpet just to be safe. Start dripping the gelatin on the horns and letting it drip down your head. This does take a while to build up. Don't worry if it gets on your eyebrows, it peels right off, but always try to keep it away from your eyeballs. I then started cutting away the long strands to keep it tidier while I was working on it. Just to give you an idea, when it gets to this stage, it's time to remelt it down in the microwave. So as I explained earlier, I switched from the gold face paint to a gold enamel because I did find that the enamel was really opaque and threw off a beautiful authentic gold colour that almost looked wet and melted. This part here is relatively self-explanatory, but you just paint the drips. Because the gelatin is mostly clear though, do make sure you look at the headpiece from different angles to make sure you have painted absolutely all of it. Then I'm just going through with some scissors and tidying it up further to get rid of more of those pesky stringy pieces. It was at this point that I realised I was wearing the swimmer's cap and getting a headache for absolutely no reason. So this is what it looks like so far, and on the left hand side you can actually see some of the clear SFX gelatin that I haven't quite painted yet. Firstly, I like to spray makeup fixing spray onto my chest just to help everything stick a little better. Then I start highlighting my collarbones, chest and shoulders, followed by contouring the more sunken in parts of my chest and neck. Using the ends of different sized makeup brushes, I dip into face paint and start the lengthy process of painting this neck piece. Okay, so I'm priming my face with a primer spray and letting that quickly dry. Next I am grabbing a black eyeliner and lining my upper waterline. Now I'm taking a primer across my eyes and using a concealer to block out all the little veins on my eyelids for a nice blank canvas and tapping that in with my fingers. I'm then setting that with a light coloured eyeshadow. I then pick up a very light orange transition shade and start dusting that into my crease, bringing it almost the whole way up to my brow bone. 100 million small circular motions should do it. I'm then taking a slightly darker orange and blending that into my crease, not taking it quite as high as the first shade. Trying to make sure I don't neglect the inner corner as I do still want some colour in there. Next I'm taking an even darker, more burnt orange colour, focusing that in an even smaller area of my crease. Blending these 3 shades together so that the edges are seamless. Honestly, blend so much your arm hurts. I then take a concealer on a very flat brush and start cutting the inner half of my crease, then setting this with a white eyeshadow. Now I'm taking NYX Foil Play in the colour Pop Quiz and applying that to the inner 2/3 of my eye. I sprayed my brush with a setting spray to help the foil pigment stick to my eyelids. I'm then grabbing my NYX Super Skinny Eyeliner Marker and lining my upper lash line. In hindsight, because again, tutorials are also about what not to do, I'd recommend trying not to place the glitter right by your lash line. It can be really hard getting a nice crisp line over a textured eye cream. I really struggled with this, so next time I'll try to avoid that area. Next, I'm taking a concealer and popping that under my eyes. I don't know why I do this, but I first tap it in with my finger, then use a beauty blender to blend it out, setting that with a translucent powder. Now, while pulling some super cute facials, I'm repeating the shades on my eyelids on my lower lash line, darkest near the lash line, blending out with the other 2 shadows. I'm now just filling in my brows with a super dark powder. No special technique here, just fill yours in however you like them. I then prime my face using a skin tone primer and rub that in, again with my fingers, focusing mostly on my T-zone and chin area but blending it out. Next I'm dabbing dots of foundation all over my face and blending that in with a beauty blender, making sure you get your ears. Next I'm going to set this with a translucent powder. I'm now going to apply a nice peachy blush and bronzing and contouring like I usually do, ensuring that I buff away my double chin. I'm now taking my NYX Lingerie lipstick and applying that in nice even strokes. With a matte lip, it definitely helps to exfoliate your lips beforehand, which is exactly what I did. I then tried on the headpiece to see if I wanted any last minute changes, which is where I decided I really wasn't vibing with the contact lenses. I was now going for a early evil type look, like she's a goddess who's only just becoming obsessed with gold. So I ditched the contacts. Last minute application of some highlighter to my cheekbones and nose and a touch up of my lower lash liner. Now it's time to pop on your false lashes, apply some mascara, do a couple of last minute touch ups, and you're good to go.